Hey guys, so today we're going to be checking out a request from Biggie himself, and this is about the First War of Armageddon, which I'm going through it right now. It's kind of funny. I'm working on editing the Yarg video, and the second part of the Yarg series is all about the Second War of Armageddon. The first Orc War of Armageddon, but the second Orc War. You guys get it. I'm an idiot. I'm flustered. That's just how it is. So, with all that being said, I went looking in the miniature channel, and I wanted to, show off what you guys do. And lo and behold, we have a Storm Boy. This is done by Joe Bats. Check him out. This is absolutely awesome. Let me go ahead and just boost this up a little bit. Whoop, whoop. There we go. There we go. So this is, I love it, okay? I absolutely love it. It looks like something that needs to be purged. The skeleton heads, the skulls, everything else like that, the coloration, it doesn't look clean. It looks like it's been chilling in exhaust for about a month and a half. It doesn't look clean and pristine. I love it. It was good work. Excellent paint job. Submit your own if you want me to check it out. I'm going to be checking out more and more stuff from the channels that we have in the Discord, and putting stuff up there like this. Now, today though, we're going to be checking out the Warrior Tier video, and personally, I have enjoyed every Warrior Tier video I've seen so far. This is just not going to be an exception. Now, considering we are talking about Armageddon, I'm going to go ahead and set the mood lighting, and let's see. Dirty brown, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, let's go with dirty brown. Oh, wait a minute, since we're talking about orcs, let's make it green. There we go. Kaboom. Orcs and dreadnoughts, there we go. And not so green, a little bit darker green, yes. Okay. That's a little bit too dark. Okay, that works. All right. Guys, Warrior Tier, First War of Armageddon. Oh, we're not talking about... Oh, no, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the Angry Boy. Why am I an idiot, guys? I just don't know this. There we go. Now we're talking about the Angry Boy, because this is going to be about Angron. All right, guys. Here we go.
Initiate protocol A945. Administer adrenaline compound 64. It is ready. Arise, O lost brother. The galaxy has need of your righteous claws once more. Arise to burn the dark that threatens your kin.
Yes.
Arise, venerable claw, brother. Terry for spear. I remember Armageddon. Long since it is but a lie. Like snowflakes on the turgid wings of Venice. I hear in my darkened slumber the howling. Can I say the howling is the wolves of home, or the wolves of the betrayed? How many traitors did I end in those hellish months? Those foul inquisitors were warned to never again darken the skies of my home. Countless thousands of heroes of Armageddon were killed in cold blood.
Yes.
By those supposed servants of the Emperor. Now I remember their howls. It was so warm on Armageddon when we landed. The air was a fierce scream of cordite and heat. The shaking of the drop pod was a violent reminder of the sturdiness of Imperial construction. It always comforted me. My battle brothers, not so much. We were petitioned by the Planetary Defense Force to reinforce a small mining city called Cypher 7. a supposedly vital resource hub.
Uh-huh.
We had landed. We were greeted by the normal stares of stunned surprise. The looks of fearful awe.
Yes.
How I hate it. Imperial conditioning has sought to convince non-Astartes that we were gods amongst men. What a cruel joke. Commander Logan Alexandros. He was our first point of contact. He led the Cyber First Steel Legion of Regulus. He may be the only man I've met who didn't flinch from my eyeline. When I asked him if he was afraid of us, he simply replied, "Why would I fear a wolf who howls for the blood of enemies I seek to annihilate?" My brothers and I were stunned for several seconds by the raw truth in this statement. I'd mistaken him for an inexperienced boy, forgetting that he and his ragtag band had faced off world eaters for 3 weeks with naught but las guns, grenades, knives, and the venom that came to make him so famous.
Yes.
He told us of the attacks, the enemy numbers, the tactics, all whose insane things that made the world eaters the world eaters.
Yes.
My dearest brother and apothecary Arcostrat spent 19 hours of the first day there tending to the wounded hidden in the tunnels and shafts beneath Cypher 7. By the 4th day, I had under my command 25 Astartes and 650 Steel Legion troops. Not enough.
Not enough,
Never
no.
enough. The World Eater 17th Purge Battalion, known as the Blind Kings, had been insulted by Cypher as it refused to surrender to their depraved butchery. The attacks continued for 5 more days until what they were waiting for arrived.
That's never a
I
good
do not
sign.
seek to slander the names of those who fought on Armageddon. I remember the hope dying in the eyes of the Steel Legion when the cursed traitor Titan, the Bleeding Eye, emerged from the smoke 4 miles in front of our lines.
This music is awesome.
This
Going
day,
through this.
I see the cursed ruins dug into that Titan's skin. I say flesh because it was flesh. The once beautiful ceramite had grown over with skin.
Ugh.
It bled as it stood, its clarion call echoing from its tortured heart through a dozen Vox amplifiers nailed to its body. The sight almost sent Red Tyrell, a tech marine under my command, mad. I do not think the sight of that blasphemy standing ever left him. I believe he was cursed to see it, even unto his death. We all knew that this was the end. We had received word from forward deep cover scouts of an amassing enemy force. Reports from other parts of the world showed of more and more contact with the demons and demon engines. Rumors flew of a giant flying shape in the sky.
Uh-huh.
Rumored to be the cursed Angron. That charge came at 3 hours and 18 minutes before dawn. The World Eaters have no use for stealth or discipline.
Nope.
They send the sharp, the weak, and the ill first as fodder. My helmet's display counted 4,240 human normal forms, armored with scant autoguns, but mostly wielding clubs and knives.
They don't do
They
anything.
screamed as they ran toward us. They ran for 4 miles through barbed wire, plunge traps, spike-filled trenches, and heavy bolter fire. The air was red with their blood. The humans standing with us know the truth. These were people like them, either corrupted or tortured into being mindless, suicidal barbarians. The Legion learned quickly that each killed cultist was a blessing, a way to free their former comrades in arms. As my fury and the fury of my fellow Astartes grew, so did the legions.
Yes.
The humans clenched their teeth, roaring as they fired. How noble they were. Barely 200 cultists made our lines. Most were injured. Putting them down was no work, and gave even less honor. They were wretches. The humans were forced to focus on them. Our limited firepower being soaked up by their horde. Before the last cultist fell, the World Eaters were upon us. I take no pride in living when I have seen such heroes as the Steel Legion. None blinched or paused at the sight of my Gene brothers crashing towards them. With my own claws, I killed 6 of the Blind Kings. Traveling further with each slashed heart, each caved-in skull. It shames me that I am the only living survivor of the slaughter at Cypher. After 5 hours of fighting, claw to blade in close quarters, less than 100 Steel Legion remained alive. However, in that time, we had killed anywhere between 10 and 400 World Eaters. Though at this point, there were only 5 wolves left. I had wondered during the fighting of the location of the Titan, and it occurred to me as I ripped my blunted lightning claws from the face of a World Eater. I looked up at the time to see its shoulder-mounted rockets fire. It devastated Cypher's southern quarter. Who knows how many are killed in that last barrage? The Titan was surrounded by adoring, chanting tech priests who had roused it from its slumber. They coughed blood as we sprinted at them. Their eyes rotted away from days of not blinking as they feared to miss even a glimpse of their Lord of Slaughter manifest. Brother Simon was killed by a dozen of them as they realized we had found their machine. Arkosrat was destroyed by a blast with the Titan's cannon arm. May he rest now in peace. I don't remember the rest. In his visits to my chambers, Commander Logan Alexandros had told me I was seen climbing the limbs of the Titan, using my claws as means of movement. It was he and the 9 other survivors who found the Reds and I beneath the dead husk of the Titan. He and the other members of the Steel Legion had been forced back into the shafts of Cypher and had fought for 5 days against the remnants of the World Eaters. Logan Alexandros told me that through the shattered faceplate of my cracked helmet, he could see I was smiling when he found me. That was the last time any living being saw my face, or even my flesh. The damage sustained to my body should have killed me. But I was made to live.
Yes.
I was made to live as I laid my brothers to rest beneath the frozen mountains of our homeworld. I attended the interment of High Marshal Logan Alexandros as he laid to rest in the chapel of the Steel Wolf in the rebuilt city. He was the Butcher of Cypher. A hero for the first war for Armageddon and my last true friend. I was made to live when such heroes have passed.
I can see why he's upset now.
I remember Armageddon's heroes. I remember hearing Wayne blade breaking against a silver night shield force our will. Did those innocents deserve death for witnessing one of the greatest moments of righteousness in Imperial history? No. Maybe not. I live on an internal death still calling. My first death on Armageddon was not enough to seize me. I also come to know the howls that live in my mind. I cry out the names of the betrayed as I so dare amidst the foes of the innocent. All Terran ships were called Dreadnoughts first.
Yep.
A name now given to us, the living dead. We shall Dreadnought. But woe to those cowards who seek to slay the innocent. I hear their howls. I remember their faces. I remember
Okay, let me turn back up the lights in here. Hold on a second, guys. So one of the things. Okay, so if you don't know about the First War of Armageddon, here's a primer for you, okay? There have actually been 3 wars of Armageddon. Technically, according to the Inquisition and the wider Imperium, there's only been 2, which is the First and Second Orc Wars of Armageddon, but there's technically been 3. Armageddon has been completely depopulated before Yorick ever became a legend fighting against the orcs on Armageddon. What wound up Armageddon has bad luck with Space Hulks, okay? What happened was, one day, like, warp storms were everywhere. It was getting worse and worse and worse and worse in Armageddon. And then horrible things started to happen one after another inside the hives of Armageddon. Some of which are still standing, some of which have been completely abandoned. Some of which are ghost towns. In fact, the virus bombs that Hermann von Straub used during the First War, technically Second War of Armageddon, were left there as a result of what wound up happening. So the war storms began to really screw with people. Cults sprang up everywhere. And then Angron and the World Eaters arrived in a Space Hulk. Now, this was after months of Armageddon being isolated. Armageddon is not a system that you can isolate for a very long period of time before you start having some major problems, because they don't grow anything. They don't grow any food of their own. So the hives were literally in starvation mode for months before anything started going really, really extremely wrong. Angron showed up, and the Space Wolves came into system to fight him, a great company. And fight him, they did. The Grey Knights showed up. And the Grey Knights managed to beat Angron and banish him back to the warp. Now here's where things got bad, okay? The reason he was talking about the betrayed and things like that is because the Inquisition, and this is the bad part about it, is because the Inquisition was wrong for the right reasons and right for the wrong reasons, okay? And so were the Space Wolves. Because the Space Wolves found out that the Inquisition was going to round up all the survivors, because they had seen chaos. They had lived through a chaos incursion that should have taken the planet, and in all due likelihood, if they had lost that war, they would have cracked that planet. No ifs, ands, or buts. They would have cracked Armageddon in half. That was what was going to happen. Now, the Inquisition started to basically execute, and either by execution, they would either work some of the survivors' deaths, forced sterilization, just to essentially eradicating everybody that had been on Armageddon at the time. And the Space Wolves took exception to this. And this led to an event called the Months of Shame, where the Inquisition and the Space Wolves first fought a cold war between each other, and then that war got hot, and it got hot fast. And nobody in the Inquisition really liked it when it got hot, okay? Nobody in the Inquisition liked it, because the Space Wolves were Space Wolves, and the Space Wolves reminded the Inquisition that they were Space Wolves. It led to some really, really outright brutal things that happened in the lore. But all things being said, the Space Wolves go down as one chapter that told the Inquisition to literally go to hell, and fought them tooth and nail, and weren't declared heretics, because let's face it, if they declared, like, that would be declaring the Space Wolves heretics would probably mean that a lot of the loyalist chapters would rise up against the Inquisition, and that's not even like you can declare, you know, the you can declare a chapter from like the 10th founding to be heretics, and not many people are going to blink about that. They want some evidence. Further foundings, yeah, of course. The cursed founding, they're just going to roll their eyes and be like, okay, another one. But if you are sitting there trying to say that a chapter, like, from the first founding is a heretic, are full of heretics, if you're trying to say one of the original legions is heretical, one of the original loyalist legions is heretical, you're going to be in for a hellstorm of problems. Yeah. Anyhow, once again, Warrior Tier does not do anything but impress. It's incredible. I love it. All of their links are going to be in the description down below, right next to my own. I hope you guys enjoyed the mini at the start. That was Joe Betts again. I do know that eventually I'm going to get to the Lamenters, and I'm going to be sad about it. You guys need to request that. Every one of you says in the comment section I should watch it. Put it in the Discord. That's how I keep track of this stuff, guys. And shout out to Ronnie for keeping track of all this stuff, because good God, you guys don't know how many requests there are right now. If you guys would like to support the channel, the best way to do that is hit the like and subscribe button. And if you'd like to support the channel through other means, I have a Patreon, I have merch, all other kind of good stuff. I will catch you guys next time. Shout out to Warrior Tier. This was excellent. I'm out, guys. Remember Armageddon. And remember the betrayed.